All right, good morning. This morning I'm going to talk about PTO. It's the Power Take Off. It's a device that transfers an engine's mechanical power to another piece of equipment. The PTO allows the hosting energy source to transmit power to additional equipment that does not have an engine or a motor of its own. Some of the history on the PTO is that experimental PTOs were developed as early as 1878, and some of them had various homemade versions over subsequent decades. The International Harvester Company, which was first marketed with a PTO on a production tractor. This model was a 8-16, and it was introduced in 1918. A guy named Edward A. Johnson, he's part of the International Harvester Company, had been impressed with the homemade PTO they saw in France about a decade before, which was improvised by a French farmer and mechanical surnamed Gorges, excuse the pronunciation. He and his IHC International Harvester Company colleagues incorporated the idea and designed a family of implements to take advantage of the feature. All right. It was not in the market for long. Within a year, PTOs began appearing in other production tractors. Some were the case models. In 1920, the International Harvester Company offered a PTO option on their 15-30 tractor. It was the first PTO equipment tractor to be substitute for a Nebraska tractor test. The PTO was a competitive advantage for the International Harvester Company in the 1920s, and other companies eventually caught up with the PTO implementation. All right. When you have a PTO, you want to select the right PTO. The PTO is a critical choice in sufficient power to auxiliary equipment without a severe limiting the primary function of the prime mover. The selection of a PTO requires specific information related to the application and the power needs of the secondary drive component. A quick list for PTO selection: torque and power requirements of the driven equipment, implementing continuous operations, application usage, speed requirements of the driven component, mounting face dimensions, option space allocation, and the method of PTO engagement. Okay. When having a PTO on this, you really got to make sure it's safe. All right. In some major cases, PTO will connect directly to a hydraulic pump. This allows for the transmission of mechanical force through hydraulic fluid to any location around the vehicle where a motor will convert it back into rotary or linear mechanical force. The typical applications will include running a water pump on a fire truck engine, water truck, powering a blower system used to move dry materials as cement, raising a dump bed truck, operating a winch on a tow truck, the compactor on a garbage truck. So, it has a lot of applications, but the safety, where it has to be made sure of, the PTO is associated shafts and universal joints are a common cause of accidents injuring in the farming industry. According to the National Safety Council, 6% of the tractor-related fatalities in 1997 were involved PTO accidents. Accidents would occur loss of clothing pulled onto the shaft, resulting in bone fractures, lost limbs, or death of the wearer. So, pretty much they start making covers for the PTO shaft. All right. Here's some types of driven equipment that has the PTO shaft. Okay. There's some ways that could be mounted up: a remote mount, a direct mount. As a blower, and sometimes 2 rear mount PTOs, and then there's 5 mount PTOs on a shaft. And some are dry shaft and remote mounts. Okay. And this concludes some information dealing with PTO. Thank you very much. Have a great day.